Hello, and welcome to the Sonoma County Vintners and Sonoma County Vintners Foundation Community Conversation. My name is Madison Garzoli, and I am the Membership and Foundation Programs Manager. Today, I am joined by our Executive Director, Michael Haney, and one of our beneficiary partners, Conservation Works Executive Director, Una Heacock. Thank you so much for being here. This has been such an amazing program to get started and to continue year round. So I'm really excited to start this conversation. What I would like to do is first turn it over to Michael to give any updates regarding our foundation on this year. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you, Madison. Again, I'm excited to be here and excited to have Conservation Works joining us here today. This is so wonderful. But, a little background about our Sonoma County Vintners Foundation. Our foundation was started back in the late 1980s, actually, and kind of was a little bit dormant for those first few years, but it's now become one of the largest charitable fundraisers and one of the largest charitable donors in all of Sonoma County. And we're very proud of that and so honored to work with so many different nonprofits here across Sonoma County. And in 2020 alone, and as we all know, it's been an extraordinary challenging year for all of us here. But in this year alone, we're proud to say our foundation has donated over $4 million to over 85 separate nonprofit organizations throughout our county. But maybe even more importantly, one of the things we were able to do in partnering with all of our nonprofits is we were able to make and put some flexibility into those grants this year. And our nonprofits could use those for the pandemic response and things of that nature. And that was an important element that they told us they needed, and we were so happy to be able to do. But we also, of course, were proud to establish our Winery and Hospitality Workers Assistance Fund. As we know, so many in the hospitality industry have been impacted by the pandemic. And this fund alone has served over 600 people here in Sonoma County. So we were happy to see that. And then, of course, just recently, our foundation made a $140,000 donation to the Sonoma County Office of Education, which really was focused on addressing the digital divide here in Sonoma County. And with all the virtual learning and so forth, it's important that kids have the means to be able to do that virtual learning. And we were happy to be able to make that contribution. And then finally, we were able to, of course, activate our emergency relief funds regarding the wildfires, and then partner with so many nonprofits like Redwood Empire Food Bank in doing a food distribution for our community with them. So we've been very fortunate to work with some of the greatest nonprofits that we could possibly ask to work with. They're amazing people, and we're proud to be a part of the community and proud to be a partner with so many great nonprofits like Conservation Works.
Yes. And really, the foundation this year has been able to do so much. And we're so honored to, again, work with our beneficiary partners, our community partners, and our wine community on just addressing the issues that are here. So thank you for that recap, Mike. I'd love to turn it over to you, Una, to give the viewers a little context about Conservation Works and what your organization does.
Yeah, thank you, Madison and Michael. First off, I just wanted to say thank you for all you're doing for our community. I grew up in Rincon Valley, Sonoma County, and really appreciate the needs that you're addressing in our community. And also, I'm honored to be a beneficiary partner this year. So I'm Una Heacock. I'm the Executive Director at Conservation Works. We rebranded our name this March, and we're also known as the North Coast Resource Conservation and Development Council. So we felt that Conservation Works was both easier to remember and also really conveys what we do. So we're a local nonprofit organization. We perform environmental education and action with youth in our community. That really involves on-the-ground change and in pollinator protection, water conservation, climate change, and healthy, sustainable communities. We have several programs in our area that engage youth in outdoor conservation activities. We really make on-the-ground change in creating and restoring our local habitat. We address climate change in our schools by helping our local schools become zero waste with our Waste Wizards program. And we help with our communities to become more sustainable. And we also do a little economic development, which is kind of different. So we're sustainable agriculture, natural resource conservation, and economic development.
That's awesome. I mean, I have really taken a look at your organization on your website, through your grant application. All of that information is so amazing. And again, the depth and breadth of what you're able to do as far as resource conservation in all categories is truly remarkable. You know, when we were reading your application and really discussing it, I just kind of fell in love with your whole organization and your programming. I mean, the creativity there is amazing. And one of the programs that I just loved to learn about was your Bee Patches program. And I know this year is a little different because in-person programming is not able to happen due to certain restrictions of COVID-19. But I would love for you to kind of give our audience some information about it, because it is such a unique program that engages with our youth and teaches them all about sustainability and really about bees, which is amazing. So
yeah. Thank you, Madison. So and thank you for your kind words about conservation works. You know, we do it in partnership and collaborations. So it's all of us as a community addressing the unique needs of the time. And as we all know, our bees are struggling, and we're noticing a real increase in population declines. And we wanted to address that issue. About 7 years ago, we developed a program. Actually, Tish Ward, I don't know if you know, she was a pioneer in sustainable agriculture and a vineyard and ranch manager at Atwood Ranch. And she thought, well, you know, what can we do? Well, we really need to come in and bring youth involved in this saving bees as well. So we created a program called Bee Patches, which advocates and takes action on behalf of bees. We pair youth groups with local grape growers and other agricultural producers to plant bee patch habitats. You know, we recognize that significant role that we have here in Sonoma County. Our agricultural landscape can really play a big role in environmental stewardship, while also mentoring youth to be, you know, change makers. And, you know, a lot of our youth, they spend just minutes outdoors, and with this pandemic, even more. So our program also increases outdoor activities with youth. So the project, 7 years ago, we plant about 10 or so different bee patch habitat projects along our local vineyards. We pair local youth with their neighborhood agriculture, and you know, oftentimes that's vineyards. So like we'll pair Glen Ellen kids with their Glen Ellen vineyards, and we'll work with those youth at that site, those youth groups, 10 or so different youth groups at 10 or so different properties. And they'll learn on that site what they'll learn about ecosystems and agriculture and what we can do there at that site to support bees. Then they'll get support from Sonoma State, entomologists and landscapers and the grape growers and Native Plant Society to learn how to plant habitat there. Then they'll design the bee patch habitat with landscape designers support. They plant it, they maintain it, and they come back and they do some community science at the site. We've had real success with this program with youth groups like Girl Scouts working at sites and passing along as they age out the site maintenance to the younger groups. It's been a very well received program, and we've planted many hundreds. We work with thousands of youth and planted hundreds of bee patches around the community over these years.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just love the collaboration that, your organization can have with these youth groups and also with your other partners in the community. So that's amazing. I love the program, and of course, bees are cute, and it's fun to talk about them, and I feel like kids can get really excited and understanding sustainability and the bees' role in our county. So that's so awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of our local kids, they drive by these beautiful vineyards on their way to school or their activities, and they don't often get to go in it and take part in it and learn about it. So it's really kind of unique to our area, a unique kind of program that we can offer our kids. And the grape growers get a beautifully maintained pollinator hedgerow or whatever too, because bee patches are gardens that provide year-long flowers with native plants, a little water resource and habitat for bees to rest and nest. So they're very beautiful for the grape grower and the vineyard manager and the kids too. And yes, bees are something about them. Their little fuzzy bodies, either kids are terrified or are really, really, they're really beloved to the bees.
Yeah.
Una, we talked so much here, and you touched on connecting the kids with nature, which is so great, and I know such a core part of your program. But can you touch on a little bit about the impact you see it having in these kids? What does that do to the kids when they're out in the vineyard and you see how they respond?
Well, that's a great question, and that's really important for us because we want to really energize our youth to become environmental stewards throughout their life, and become the change makers. Youth care about the environment and they want to make a difference, but they don't often have the opportunity to take real action, and have the autonomy to create a project that's their own and unique. This program, since I've been doing it for 6-7 years, I've had my like Girl Scouts work with me, and it changes their focus in school. I've had students go into the environmental sciences and biology, plant sciences. I've had one youth is now at UC Berkeley, and he created, UC Berkeley is now the first bee campus. So it makes real impact to the kids.
Yeah,
I oftentimes, we teach them leadership and mentorship. We mentor them and teach them leadership. So I'm often when I work with kids, I'm seeing them with that agency. So that there is a change making that happens with them.
Yeah, and that's incredible. I think, programs like this, and we've seen it with our other nonprofit partners too. It really teaches kids not only about, bees and sustainability, but it does do that leadership. It teaches them character building skills, working as a team. There's so many integral parts of these programs that help shape these children to become our next leaders. So it's so important.
Yeah.
A couple of things that I had seen with conservation work is that you have started some virtual programs too, which, this day and age are just exploding, which is great because then there's more access for you to reach out to your donors and your clients and the youth that you serve. And you had a virtual hike I saw, and a sit spot challenge, which I thought was so creative. And you can touch on on these different virtual events. But my question really is, are you looking to continue some sort of virtual programming in 2021? And did you see that these different events were successful, and that you had a lot of engagement?
We did. Our Sit Spot Challenge it was a way to get people outside during the deep dark days of May. And it ran 2 weeks. It started on Global Big Day, which is started by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology to count birds and observe. And then it ended on International Day for Biodiversity. And what we did is every day we posted some encouragements on what to do. Go find a sit spot every day for those 2 weeks and observe nature. Spend maybe 5 minutes or 15 minutes and listen, observe, feel, be outside. And we got a lot of engagement, and people that we hadn't engaged with before were posting pictures of birds that they saw. And a lot of people have continued on with their sit spot they developed, maybe right on their porch, on a deck, or even out into a field. I know I put a bench outside on my property and I have coffee there every morning now. But we were able to bring more people in, and definitely we're going to continue a Sit Spot Challenge. I've actually also brought that into our Bee Patches program. So we provide our kids with a journal now, really beautiful wooden hardback journal, and guidance on how to do a sit spot. And we'll give the youth a pollinator wildflower seeds to cast out in a pot on their deck, or if there's sit spots out in the field. So in 2021, we're going to be doing our Sit Spot Challenge, and that's going to start on Global Big Day again. That's May 8th. So look for that on our Facebook page and join us. Everyone can join that.
Yeah, it's such a unique idea that's easy and that really allows people to take time to reflect on, anything, and also observe just the beautiful nature. I think it's great, and I'm so glad that it has been so successful so far. So yeah, I commend you for doing it and for continuing it in the future years. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such great work. And I have one more question. I mean, because I know how passionate Madison is about this program and so many other people. So what is the best way to people to participate and get in touch with you, to volunteer, or to join in some of your great projects?
Oh, wow. Thank you, Michael. Yes, because for nonprofits, it's all about volunteers, right? So we have, and our Bee Patches program is really fun. It's cute. It's impactful. It's outdoors. A lot of us are at our desks all day long. If you volunteer, you want to do something outdoors. Mm-hmm. So we have, like I said, usually lots of bee patches going in. We could always use people to come out and take photos, help plant. We even if you have skills like landscaping, or about gardens, come and help us with that. If you're an educator, or if you just want to take a shovel and help dig, So yeah, in all of our programs, we're working extensively in our underserved areas. We could use translators. We're looking for people to join our advisory boards if you feel like you want to make real change and be part of the governance of our organization. There's lots of different ways.
That's so awesome. And we have viewers here that are, most of them are winery members, but obviously donors and people within our county that are just interested in what's going on. So this is a really unique opportunity to give out to our community right now, and how they can participate. It's awesome. So,
and if you want to be a land partner, I have been working, I have the wonderful, vineyards. The owners and land partners have been just amazing, sharing with the kids about what they do. And also, you know, we're always looking for land partners. So if you have a little, you know, agricultural region you want to join us, yeah, get a hold of me. I'd love to put you on a waiting list or partner with you on a future bee patch.
That's awesome. Great. Well, I think, you know, there's definitely people that are watching this that are interested. And so definitely check out your website. I know you have your email on there and Facebook. Yeah, it's just amazing what you do. And we're really grateful for this opportunity to talk a little bit more. And we hope that all your programs in the upcoming year are super successful. The work you do is so important. And again, we thank you for taking this time to talk with us today. So, and Michael, you as well, thank you so much. And we so
You know, Madison, it's always a pleasure to be here and to obviously partner with so many wonderful nonprofits like Conservation Works. You know, as you just said so very well, you know, thank you for all the great work you're doing for the county, and we're just proud to be a partner.
yeah, and we look forward to continuing this series and really taking a deeper dive on what our community partners are doing in, you know, current times and in the future. And just, yeah, we're so grateful to have these conversations, and we hope that you all can join us for our next community conversation. So thank you so much, and cheers.